Hello and welcome to my stories. Today, another from my vast horror archive. I certainly hope that you enjoy. The House That Remembers by Martha M.C. Jenkins. The wind, a mournful banshee, tore at the black veil Anya wore, whipping strands of her dark hair across her face. Below, the slate-gray sea crashed against the jagged Cornish cliffs, sending plumes of spray high into the desolate sky. Blackwood Estate rose from the mist like a forgotten sentinel, its Victorian gables sharp against the bruised heavens, its windows like vacant eyes staring out at nothing. Anya, 33 and recently widowed, gripped the steering wheel of her ancient Volvo, her knuckles white. Liam had loved the sea, his artist's soul drawn to its raw power. He'd never seen Blackwood, despite it being his family's ancestral home. Signed over to Anya in his will, with a curt, almost dismissive note from his estranged grandmother. Now it was hers, and it felt less like a gift and more like a heavy shroud. A figure emerged from the shifting mist near the crumbling gatehouse, a man, hunched and gnarled as one of the ancient oaks that crowded the overgrown drive. This was Rhys, the estate's groundskeeper, as much a part of Blackwood as the lichen on its stones. His eyes, the color of peat, took her in with a gaze that seemed to know more than it should, holding a silent, wary judgment. Mrs. Thorne, his voice was a gravelly rasp. Rhys, expected you sooner. The journey was long. Anya managed, her voice thin against the wind's howl. Grief had hollowed her out, leaving her brittle, a ghost of the vibrant artist she once was. Rhys merely grunted, turning to push open the groaning iron gates. The drive, choked with rhododendrons and skeletal branches, wound through a tangled, forgotten garden. The house loomed, larger and more menacing up close, its damp stones exuding a scent of decay and salt. Inside, Blackwood was a mausoleum. Dust motes danced in the slivers of light that pierced the grimy windows. The air was heavy, cold, and seemed to press down on Anya's chest. Every floorboard groaned a complaint underfoot. Rhys led her through the labyrinthine corridors, pointing out rooms with curt descriptions: drawing room, library, kitchen. He left her in a vast, cold master bedroom, a four-poster bed draped in mildewed velvet dominating the space. "I'll be in the cottage," he said, his voice flat. "Shout if you need anything, though you won't." The last words were almost a whisper, lost to the wind rattling the panes, but Anya felt their weight, in unsettling premonition. That night, Anya lit a meager fire in the drawing room, its flames doing little to dispel the pervasive chill. She tried to sketch, her usual solace, but her hand felt alien. Instead of the vibrant colors and dynamic lines that once defined her work, only gray, skeletal forms emerged. Echoing the house's despair, it began subtly in the library. Anya was running her fingers over the spines of ancient leather-bound books, their pages brittle with time. A faint scent, sweet and metallic, drifted past. Liam's cologne. She paused, breath-catching. It was impossible. She'd buried him 3 months ago. Then, a whisper, so soft it could have been the wind. "Anya, look at this." She turned, half expecting to see him there, perched on the ornate ladder, his face alight with boyish excitement over some obscure text. The room was empty, but for a fleeting moment, the flickering firelight seemed to cast a shadow that was distinctly his, tall and lean against the shelves. Her heart ached, a sharp physical pain. The house, she thought, was playing tricks on her grief. Days bled into weeks. The memories intensified. In the cramped, dark study, she heard the rustle of paper, the scratch of a pen, and saw in the periphery of her vision Liam bent over a desk, sketching. In the grand dining room, she felt the phantom warmth of his hand on her back, guiding her to a chair, heard the echo of their laughter over a half-eaten meal. These memories, her own, were heartbreakingly vivid, a cruel taunt. She tried to embrace them, to conjure them, but they came unbidden, like waves crashing on the shore, overwhelming her. Then, the shift. She was in the master bedroom, trying to air out the musty drapes, when a sudden, sickening chill enveloped her. The scent of ozone filled the air, acrid and metallic. The room for a split second became blindingly bright, and she heard a sharp, almost guttural cry, a woman's cry, laced with terror. It wasn't Liam's voice. It wasn't hers. A cold dread seeped into her bones. The brightness vanished, leaving the room dimmer than before, the chill lingering. The next day, she found herself drawn to the music room, a cavernous space dominated by a grand piano. As her fingers tentatively brushed the dust-laden keys, a discordant chord reverberated, then a burst of frantic, clumsy playing. It wasn't music. It was a desperate, panicked banging. Anya recoiled, her heart pounding. The air grew thick, the scent of lavender and something else, something deeply unpleasant, like decay, filled her nostrils. She saw with terrifying clarity a woman's white hand reaching, scrabbling at the keyboard, her face contorted in a silent scream. The image flickered, a glitch in reality, and then the room was still again, save for her own ragged breathing. Anya sought out Rhys. She found him in the overgrown kitchen garden, pruning a particularly virulent rosebush. "Rhys," she began, her voice trembling. "The house, it's strange. I'm seeing things, hearing things, not just Liam, other things." He snipped a thorny branch with deliberate slowness. "Old houses," he finally grunted, not looking at her. "Got spirits, got memories. Blackwood's got more than most." "Memories of what?" she pressed. "Who was here before? Who was that woman?" Rhys straightened, his eyes finally meeting hers. They were cold, devoid of sympathy. "Don't go digging, Mrs. Thorne. Some things are best left buried. The house, she keeps her secrets close, and her pain closer." His words, instead of reassuring her, only fueled her terror. The house was not just a container of memories, it was an active participant, a predator. Her art, once a vibrant outlet, became a torment. Her canvases filled with distorted faces, spectral figures trapped in dark, oppressive rooms. Her grip on reality began to fray. She'd wake in the middle of the night, convinced she heard whimpering from the empty nursery upstairs, or the muffled sound of a struggle in the drawing room below. She ate little, slept less, her features growing sharper, her eyes wide and haunted. One afternoon, a violent storm lashed the coast. The house groaned and shuddered, mimicking her internal turmoil. Anya was in the west wing, a part of the house she usually avoided, when a door creaked open, revealing a small, forgotten antechamber. Inside, a vanity table stood laden with antique silver brushes, a cracked mirror reflecting only darkness. As she stepped in, the air grew heavy, charged with an almost visible energy. The scent of lily of the valley, cloying and sweet, became overwhelming. The room spun. Suddenly, Anya wasn't just observing. She was there. She saw herself in the mirror, but it wasn't her face. It was another woman's, younger, perhaps, with wide, terrified eyes and hair the color of autumn leaves. Her hands, Anya's hands, trembled as they reached for a small, silver locket on the table. As her fingers closed around it, the memory flared into terrifying clarity. A man's voice, harsh and demanding, echoed from just outside the door. "Where is it, Eleanor? Where have you hidden it?" Anya felt Eleanor's heart pounding in her own chest, a frantic bird trapped in a cage. Eleanor's breath hitched. She opened the locket, a miniature portrait of a baby, and crammed it into the deep skirt pocket of a dress she wore, a heavy velvet gown that billowed around her. Then the door burst open. A man, tall and broad-shouldered, filled the frame. His face was a mask of furious desperation, his eyes bloodshot. He seized Eleanor, his hands like vises on her shoulders, shaking her violently. "The papers, I know you have them, you scheming whore." Anya felt the bruising pain, the terrifying force of his grip. She tasted Eleanor's fear, sharp and metallic. The man shoved her against the wall, her head hitting the plaster with a sickening thud. The rune blurred, the lily of the valley scent now mingling with something acrid, fear, sweat, and perhaps blood. He began tearing the room apart, ripping through drawers, overturning furniture. Eleanor, Anya, crumpled to the floor, whimpering. The memory became a living nightmare. He found the locket, yanking it from her pocket, his face contorted in a sneer of triumph. "Always so sentimental. Your bastard's face won't save you." He raised his hand. Anya saw the glint of something silver, something heavy. She heard a choked gasp, not her own, and felt a crushing blow. The world erupted in a symphony of agony, shattering glass, a woman's scream, a man's furious grunt. Then darkness. Anya awoke on the floor of the antechamber, gasping, her own head throbbing. Her hand flew to her temple, expecting blood, but found only clammy skin. The room was silent, save for the storm's distant roar. The vanity table was still intact. the silver brushes neatly arranged. The locket lay untouched. She stumbled out, her mind reeling. Eleanor, the papers, the bastard. It wasn't Liam, it wasn't her past, it was Blackwood's. Reese. He knew. She found him in the kitchen, sharpening a hunting knife with a slow, rhythmic scrape. Who was Eleanor? Anya demanded, her voice raw, trembling with a fragile fury. What happened to her? Reese paused, his eyes, dark as the sea in winter, fixed on her. You shouldn't have gone in there, Mrs. Thorne. She was murdered, wasn't she? By that man, her husband. A sigh, heavy and ancient, escaped Reese. He laid the knife down. Eleanor, she weren't the first, and she weren't the last. He turned to face her fully now, his expression grim. The house, it likes its widows, likes their grief, feeds on it. Anya recoiled. What are you talking about? Blackwood, it remembers, every heartbreak, every betrayal, every drop of blood. It traps it here, and when a new one comes along, a new grieving woman, it shows them what came before, and sometimes it makes them one of them. One of them? Anya whispered, a horrifying realization dawning. Liam's grandmother, Reese continued, his voice softer now, almost mournful. Eliza, she was like you, lost her husband young, came here. She saw Eleanor, she saw Mary, before Eleanor, and Martha, before Mary. All widows, all grieving, all stuck. He gestured vaguely to the house around them. Some just faded, others, they never left. Became part of the house's sorrow, its memories. He picked up the knife again, running his thumb along the blade. Eliza, she finally locked herself away, told me to guard the house, keep the others out, let no more find their way here. He looked at Anya, a flicker of something akin to pity in his eyes. But you were family. I couldn't stop you. Anya stared at him, horror mounting. The twist, the sickening turn of the screw, was too much. Are you saying I'm becoming then? That I'll be trapped here? Reese just shrugged, a gesture of weary resignation. The house makes its own choices, Mrs. Thorne. You feel them, don't you? Eleanor's fear, Mary's despair, Martha's rage. They're all waiting, aren't they? Waiting for you to join their choir. The air around Anya now felt thick with unseen presences. Thousands of memories, a cacophony of grief and terror, pressed in on her. She saw fragmented images, not just Eleanor, but countless women. Their faces etched with suffering, their eyes pleading, accusing. The house wasn't just showing her the past, it was implanting it, making it her own. Her identity, already fractured by Liam's death, was dissolving. That night, in the master bedroom, no candles would light. The darkness was absolute, suffocating. Anya lay on the bed, not sleeping, not truly awake. She heard them now, not as echoes, but as distinct voices, whispering her name, intertwining with Liam's absent voice. Don't leave us, Anya. Stay here. We understand your pain. He did it. He killed me. Join us. Join the remembering. Her own memories of Liam, once so precious, were now tainted, overlaid with the agony of others. She saw him, but then his face would warp into that of Eleanor's cruel husband, or another unfamiliar, menacing face. Her love, her grief, it was all being absorbed, consumed. She staggered to her easel, fumbling for charcoal. Her hands moved with a furious, almost possessed energy. She drew faces, Eleanor's, Mary's, Martha's, and her own, but they were all merging, their features bleeding into one another, eyes wide with a shared eternal terror. Below them, a dark, consuming swirl, the shape of Blackwood Estate. Anya looked at the drawing, and for a moment she saw it clearly, her future. Or rather, her lack of one. There was no escaping Blackwood. It had chosen her. It had always been waiting for her, for Liam's death, for her grief. A strange calm settled over her. The terror subsided, replaced by a profound, chilling acceptance. The past wasn't just echoing in Blackwood. It was Blackwood. And now she was part of it. Her grief, her identity, her very essence, dissolved like salt in the hungry sea, ready to become another thread in the tapestry of the house's eternal memory. She closed her eyes, and as the wind howled outside, carrying the salt spray of the Cornish coast against the grimy panes, Anya Thorne breathed in the dust, the decay, and the ancient collective sorrow of Blackwood Estate. She heard Liam's voice, clear now, untainted, calling her name. But it was only one voice among many, and hers, soon, would join the chorus. The house had remembered, and now so did she. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Please also feel free to check out my webpage. Link is in the description. Until next time, my love to you all.